happened to me? What did I do? Can I tell anybody? And then what do you say? Oh, I went off and I made this movie. Oh, that's cool. But do you know what I mean? There was just this fuzzy, weird time where
Yeah.
nothing went on. They were editing, they were doing, and I was in California and I was in New York at home, and nobody was there. Nobody was around, and I had nothing to do. So it was, and what I found was, and this happens on pretty much a lot of movies, is people don't understand how hard it really is to make a movie. You're working 12 hours every single day, early in the morning, late at night, all night long, whatever the shooting is, and the emotional energy that you constantly put into it. By the time a picture is done, it's almost as though everything drains and I just get sick. And I got sick after the movie, and I realize now it's because you put yourself up on this energy level, this adrenaline level, and then when it's over, it drops, and so you're open to everything that you've been staving off in a way. And so that happened, and it was just this weird time. And then all of a sudden I started getting the phone calls from Columbia Pictures, and then from the director about looping and all of these things. I had no idea what they were and all that. And then things started rolling. And then I started getting the Columbia Pictures publicity department was coaching me on what things to be able to say, what things not to be able to say, and all of that. And then when the movie started getting tested or whatever else, they made a deal with me to send me on a world tour. And that's when everything went ballistic.
Did you ever regret it in that period? Like what you like you say, you're home, like your friends are now, hey, I'm in my, second day of classes. I have a girlfriend. I have a lot of new friends. Like you're hearing about your friends living this college life. You say you're home. It didn't blow up yet because it's that in between. Like, did you say, like, right, like I'm looking around, there's no one here. Why did I do this? Why aren't I in college?
Oh,
Which
for
is
sure. Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, because one of the things is I still wanted to play baseball. My knees were back. I worked really hard in getting my body back into shape. I mean, it was years later with my son at an event where I ran into a guy who's now one of the Dodger hitting coaches, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, do you know the Phillies were going to draft you?" And I turned to my son. I said, "I told you I knew what I was talking about." My son was a really good ball player. He's on the California state record list for hitting home runs because that hitting coach worked with him. He was 12 years old at the time. But I really put a lot of time and effort into baseball. Was my dream. I mean, to this day, I still love holding a bat. I mean, I can't throw anymore because my arms are all screwed up. But so that's what I wanted to go and do that, and then because of all the knee surgery, I was going to go into sports medicine. My whole family are doctors, so I wanted to do that.
and
But
then
absolutely, I missed it. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, like that could be a regret. Like it's that in between period of like I'm sitting in my parents' house. What did I do with my life?
yeah. And the interesting thing is when you do see people when they come home and still nothing's going on, and they say, "Oh, how was that?" Well, I was on this island. I did this movie, and oh, that's good. But then when the movie came out, it's like, "Wow, what was that? Oh, wow, oh, cool. Wow, oh, what happened?" That kind of a thing. So there was two different talking about the movie, one before it came out, one after it came out, that was really different also, because that's that phase that I went through of what did I do and what do you actually say? How do you explain it? It's
Right. It's like people are patting you on the back, like, that sounds great. You
yeah.
you made a little movie on an island, like great for you. And then it comes out and they're like, wait a second, I think I want to call you back today,
I know
right?
that guy. Yeah.
Right. We actually went to high school together. Wait a second.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then was all that a race for you too? Like you must have been on a high. Like, listen, some people don't even like that high of fame, like, or was that like, oh, this is great, before you get to the after. And like you say, you never really hit that point in your career again. But like, was that bubble of like worldwide press and interviews and celebrity, did you love it?
um I, I can't say I really liked it or I hated it so much as I just did what I was told. I just kind of rolled with it, and this was the next thing, and this was. I mean, I look back now, and oh my God, all the places I've been, the people that I've seen. I mean, I adjusted George Bush Senior's bow tie once, and I had the freaking FBI come up to me and said, "Don't touch the president." I know, sorry, this kind of. I mean, all of the crazy things that I've seen and done, and all because of that film. I mean, I can't say I'm not blessed and grateful because of the craziness, but I don't know if I loved it or hated it. It's life. It just happened.
How did you end up adjusting the president at that time's bow tie?
Oh, we were at some event. It was one of those celebrity events for raising money. I think what was even funnier was Phyllis Diller said to me, "You have to auction your loincloth." I said, I don't have my loincloth. And she said to her assistant, "Get me some material or whatever." And somebody went out and got a piece of material. Phyllis Diller took it in the hotel room that we were at for this event, rubbed, this is a true story, rubbed it in a plant dirt, said, "Here, go just rub this on your body in the bathroom and we'll sell it as your loincloth." I went, "Oh my gosh." We were there to raise money, but that was Phyllis Diller. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy events.
And it ended up selling, I
I'm
imagine.
sure they sold it. I don't really remember. I would just remember doing all of that in that story because it was just so over the top.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you get starstruck? Like, have you ever met someone, because you've met, like you said, everyone, you've been in the business forever. Like, did you ever have an experience where you were just totally starstruck when you met someone?
Well, I remember that Randall Kleiser, who directed Grease and Blue Lagoon, introduced me to John Travolta, and then and back then this is before we even shot the movie, and so I was obviously he was, oh my gosh. But then I got to know him a little bit more because he was friends with Olivia, and Olivia was like my son's godmother. We hung out all the time when she was married to Matt and all this, and we'd go camping together and everything. So
Wow.
I knew he came and smoked cigars every once in a while and stuff, and so that was kind of cool.
Wow. Well, like you said, like some people try their whole careers, everyone comes to LA to make it and never has an experience like this. But talk to me about, listen, I actually watched your reality show. Not for this interview, the first time around, about, just fame. Like, so talk to me about like afterwards when you were trying to, kind of get the same level of success in movies, and you've had a whole career. We're going to talk about some of that, but like, what was that like? Like, I mean, fame is such a addictive drug to so many people.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Well, after Blue Lagoon, Columbia Pictures put me under contract for four years, and it was the first time since the old MGM days that a studio had put an actor under contract, and it was a big deal back then. And so I sat around doing a lot of nothing, waiting, and nothing was happening. And then we figured that it was probably because they wanted to do a Blue Lagoon 2 and they were rewriting and they wanted to save me for that or whatever else. Then 20th Century Fox bought me out to do the pirate movie In a Night in Heaven. And then when I was 16, and so the pirate movie, sorry, let me back up a little bit. So I did Blue Lagoon, and then I did a TV movie